You know, talk about admins first, right?
Yeah, let's do admins first.
So one of the keys to getting people when you're hiring them is to communicate with them in a way that's going to attract them. So one of the things that we've learned here is just the job description in and of itself has a massive impact on the numbers of people that apply and the quality of people that apply. We're big on focusing on job descriptions that use the real key words that resonate with the type of person you want. So stability, loyalty, order, discipline, systems, processes, things like helping the team, you know, making sure everything's done properly. Your average salesperson is going to look at that and get a little nauseous. You know, it's just going to start to cold sweat. They're like, wow, you know, that sounds like a lot of rigid things to be going on. But it attracts the administrative types, the person who's into more of an operational standpoint. So that's a key. You got to think of it right off the bat. Um, Even when you're outside looking for salespeople, we'll get to them in a second, but using the right words. Craigslist, you know, rock star seems to work, but on Indeed and other things. So for administrative assistant, it's those kind of key phrases that you're using in the job description. That's of paramount importance. Getting them in, the disc is normally going to be more of an S and a C dominant. So the disc model is going to have an I that's anywhere in the mid range. In all of the real estate jobs we've seen, they're client facing. They have to interact. Some administrative assistants in other industries can get away with a low I, but here they have to be somewhere in that 40 to 60 range minimum. We don't normally see them getting too much higher than 60 because as the I goes up, it's very difficult for the C to stay up as well. It's possible for them to be anywhere, but it's normally the case that as I goes up, C goes down a little bit. Not S, but C. The I becomes a little more disorganized. You don't necessarily want a super I anyway, because they can sometimes be overly conversational, talk too much. S is going to bring in maybe somewhere in that 70 range is probably more ideal. Brings in the stability, brings in the pace that you like, which is slower, steadier, more of a C anchor for a team of salespeople who are constantly running a million miles an hour and disorganized and chaotic. The S can bring with that some anchoring to the team, keep things steady, provide some discipline, provide some order. And of course, they have to be okay. The higher S allows them to be all right with reproducing the same things over and over and over again. Higher S likes to know tomorrow what I'm going to do, and they'll do the same thing next week. It's normally where we see the biggest conflict. The two conflicts happening to be with the mega agent or the team leader, D and an I. They're going to change directions 90 to 180 degrees by lunchtime. I know we were supposed to be doing this today. Tell you what, we're not. We're going to do this instead. Isn't that cool? And the S's and the C's in the office go, crap, here we go again. So there's conflict we see normally happening in the office that's coming from that S saying, wait. You know, I had it plotted out. I like to do this in steps, and you're changing the steps. The C is the other place that has to be high as well. Admins, some again about 60 to 80 range, a little bit wider there. And they normally help out in the office because the buyer's agents, ISAs, and listing agents normally don't have that level of detail. They don't get into that enjoyment level of making sure everything's accurate and done and all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. The only difference between that and the transaction coordinator, oftentimes transaction coordinators are exclusively focused on all the documents, not so free range, and they can go up into the 80s and 90s on the C. I wouldn't want an administrative assistant that was 80 or 90 on a C, because there has to be more flexibility there. D's, going back to the non-two drivers on a behavior, D's shouldn't be super low. An admin still has to be able to make decisions. So in that 25 and above range, 25 to 50 is okay. Getting below 25 sometimes makes a problem where they still don't make comfortable decisions, or they're not comfortable doing that quickly. And you don't want to have to micromanage somebody.